You're listening to Athletes and Avatars, the podcast for 30-year-old gaming dads who peaked in high school and prestige in Warzone.
We break down sports, gaming, movie hot takes while our wives nod politely and absolutely do not listen.
From late night lobbies, youth league sidelines, we're still chasing glory.
And ignoring bedtime routines to debate Madden ratings.
Athletes,
And avatars.
because we still think we've got it.
And we definitely don't. Welcome back to Athletes and Avatars. We are in our 5th episode on August 3rd. Taylor, how's it going, man?
What's up? I'm a little burnt. Had a lake day with some buddies yesterday. We're burnt, chat. We're burnt. The face is burnt. I'm not a big sunscreen guy, so it's not great, but we'll get through it.
I want to give a shout out to our Spotify followers who's looking at some numbers beforehand. Appreciate all you on Spotify listening. Everyone across the board on YouTube, on TikTok, YouTube Shorts. It's been great interacting with people, commenting and liking our videos every day. But saw we had 300 searches on Spotify earlier, which kind of blew my mind. Episode 1's actually got almost 30 views or 30 plays on it, so that's kind of crazy. So in today's episode, we're gonna kind of talk about the winners and losers in MLB trade deadline, which was on Thursday. We'll talk about fantasy football season. NFL league starting here in about a month. So it's time to start thinking about fantasy football and getting in your leagues if you haven't already. Madden 25 comes out in 2 weeks. They had their big ratings reveal this week, so we'll kind of go over each position and the top 10 players there and see what our kind of initial thoughts are of that. And then Battlefield 6 also had their big reveal on Thursday as well. And then Taylor went and saw the new Superman this past week, so we'll review that here at the end. Anything else you want to add off the top?
I think you nailed it, buddy.
All right, so we'll hop into the MLB trade deadline. Who's your big winner from this year's deadline?
Drum roll, not the Cardinals. After hearing my favorite MLB guy speak, Tim Kirkjian, I would agree that the Mariners are the big winners. I recognize the names, obviously, that they picked up, but not that I'm a diehard Mariners fan. Tim really just explained it well, that they, at this point, don't have an easy out 1 through 6. Like, your pitchers are going to be in hell 1 through 6 trying to find 3 outs there. So Tim kind of convinced me that they're the big winners, even though they're not superstar mega names, but just how those pieces fit seems to be like a really good thing. I thought the Cardinals did well as they could do probably. I would have probably fire sold a few more players, but it's interesting the pieces they got back. Some infielders with potential for sure. But our boy JJ Weatherholt, I don't know if you saw, is starting tonight in AAA at third base, which is interesting to me because that's where I've kind of projected that he's going to have to come up at, because I don't think you move Mason Wynn to give JJ shortstop. So that seems to be in the same line of thinking that the Cardinals are going to be in. But that's another reason I probably would have moved Arenado for whatever solid piece I could get. Because at this point, yes, you're a fringe wild card team, but why not get whatever you can get and be super excited for next year with all young pieces?
Yeah, I think we all kind of expected Helsley to get traded. I think Maton getting traded was a little bit of a surprise. Got quite a bit more for him than I thought we would.
Yeah.
I think we both said last week we thought Arenado and Brendan Donovan both probably be traded, maybe some other pieces. I don't expect them to be on the team next year still, but I think it's a pretty solid deadline for the Cardinals, especially what they got back for Helsley, who I shared a video on our TikTok the other day of him making his first appearance with the Mets, which broke my heart a little bit. He had six solid years with the Cardinals, 2-time All-Star, I think, in the conversation for one of the best Cardinal closers ever. Thinking about it, Isringhausen probably first in my mind, and he's got to be probably 2, 3 maybe, at least in our lifetime.
I think Trevor
Rosenthal
would probably make a case because he had a couple years there too with a pretty high ceiling.
I agree with that.
Jameson was very sad. Now a very strong Mets hater because that was his favorite pitcher on the Cardinals. So they've fallen down his rankings. But yeah, easily top 3 for closer of our Cardinal lifetime.
Mets also kind of a sneaky winner of the deadline too. That
That's true.
they got Rosenthal, and they also got Cedric Mullins, the outfielder for the Orioles, which I like a lot. Back
Uh-huh.
to the Mariners. Might as well call them the Seattle Diamondbacks at this point. They got Josh Naylor, I believe, week before the deadline. Then they got Eugenio Suarez at the
Uh-huh.
deadline, who I actually forgot was a Mariner a couple years ago. And then the Diamondbacks basically got a fire sale, trading the two of them, and they also traded Merrill Kelly to the Braves, I believe.
Yeah,
Um, but if you're a Mariners fan, you got to be excited that your ownership group and your front office saying, "Hey, let's go win it." In the AL,
for sure.
I don't know if it
And you
makes
got
them.
young, exciting guys and bats and Julio Rodriguez and those guys. Like that's a fun team. Cal Raleigh, dude, that's a fun team to root for.
I don't know if that makes them better than the Tigers or the Blue Jays, but it definitely has them in the conversation more so
Oh
than they
yeah.
were. I mean, you got was it 60, 70 something home runs in the lineup and just two guys.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're able to kind of have the second half that they had in the first half, they are going to be
No problem.
sitting pretty. And then the Cardinals, as we mentioned, got two top eight prospects from the Mets. They
Mm-hmm.
got a guy by the name of Blaze Jordan, probably the best name the team
Oh,
got at the
fantastic
deadline
name.
from the from the Red Sox. Um, and
First baseman. Yep.
for first baseman, hitting about 300 in AAA this year. I
Yeah.
believe he's got 12. He's got somewhere in the teens of home runs. I think 12 is
Mm-hmm.
what I saw.
Yeah,
And
and
then
that high average honestly kind of startled me. I mean, you just don't see that even at any level anymore, hardly. Oh, like a 300 average
yeah, you don't see
is
that.
not. I
Yeah,
mean, like you don't luck into that, right? Like that's absolutely that guy. I don't care how many home runs you hit. Yes, I would love for you to hit a ton, but a 300 average is 300 average any way you slice it.
you see someone batting 300 this day and age. That's almost shocking to see that. Um,
Yeah.
and then kind of keep it local. The Royals traded for Yaz from the Giants, who hit a first home run in his first at bat.
Yeah.
He's not a. I think he's a great change of scenery guy. I like your Scripps a
Right.
lot, but he kind of flashed a little bit in San Francisco and didn't do anything too crazy. But I do
Mm-hmm.
like him, and he's upgraded position for the Royals. So I'm excited to see what he does. The
Yeah.
Astros trade for um, Carlos Correa, who's a longtime Astro. And then I like what the
Thorn.
Padres did, going out and getting Mason Miller from the A's. They really kind of bolstered the back end of their lineup. The big loser has got to be the Minnesota Twins. They basically, if you had any kind of experience or any kind of value at all, they got rid of you. Trading Correa, Johan Duran, Jackson Griff, Louis Varland, Denny Colombe, Harrison Bader, Will Castro, Brock Stewart, Chris Paddock, and Ty France all
Yeah. Yeah. You had enough
gone
guys to
from the
even pull up
Twins.
and do this. I mean, that's a crazy amount of people.
Yeah, they didn't hit the reset button. They just straight blew it up from a team that wasn't too far removed from being a serious contender not
And
too
your
long
best player,
ago.
Byron Buxton, telling you like, "Hey, I'm never playing anywhere else, so let's figure this out." And that's figuring it out, I
Yeah,
guess. I
and
don't know.
they keep Joe Ryan and Byron Buxton. Basically, the only two players with value that they didn't trade. The Red Sox got Steven Matz and Dustin May, and then I'm trying to think anything else stands out. Milwaukee added uh, some guys. They're probably I think they're the best team in the league as of today, record wise.
I will touch back on the Mets. We talked about the Cardinals side of it, just because obviously we're more interested in those prospects and what the Cardinals are building. But the Mets, October baseball, your bullpen is obviously under a microscope just as much as your lineup, right? And what I will say for the Mets is, dude, that bullpen now with Helsley and the guys, they got another bullpen arm, in a trade, and they already had a decent one, if not a good one anyway. Like that's a nasty bullpen at this point. Like, I mean, they have made it now where it's, hey, if we're in it, if we're up 2-1, if it's 3-2 heading into the sixth, good luck. Like we got this figured out. Like I'll give them that. You're gonna find a way to win games you shouldn't win against teams you might not think you can beat with that kind of bullpen late.
Yeah, so the playoff pitcher as of today, Milwaukee has best record in the league at 67 and 44, Cubs at 65 and 46, the Dodgers 65 and 47. So very top heavy on the NL side, and then we got the Blue Jays at 65 and 48, the Tigers at 65 and 48, the Phillies at 63 and 48, the Mets at 63 and 49, Houston at 62 and 50, the Padres at 62 and 50, the surprising Red Sox at 62 and 51, the Yankees
Yeah.
at 60 and 52, then you got the Mariners at 60 and 53. and then kind of get teams around 500 with the Reds, the Rangers, the Indians, the Marlins, the Royals. Giants and the Cardinals are still kind of hanging around, but they definitely said we're not good enough to compete this year. So,
Yeah.
anything stand out there? Anything that shake up there as we get towards the end of
I
the
don't
season?
think so. I mean, October baseball is what it always is. It's going to be a little more small ball, and like I said, bullpens matter more, and all that good stuff. So, if the Cardinals don't make it, I'll root for the Mariners. If the Cardinals somehow sneak in, obviously that's who I'll pay attention to. But
Yeah. So the
um,
Red Sox, 2 games up in the AL wild card. The Yankees are in the second spot, and Seattle's right there sniffing around in the NL side. Um, the Mets, the Cubs, and the Padres all kind of hanging around there for those wild card spots. So we'll see what happens as we get into August and September baseball here, but definitely kind of like some moves that were made, and we'll see what happens down the stretch.
yep.
Kind of transition to our next segment here. This week, Madden had their big reveal when they kind of did a week long reveal session, doing
Yeah.
like the top 10 rookies, top 10 by position, top 10 teams, all those things. And then
Twitter's
before
great for that.
before we get to that, fantasy football season. How many leagues are you gonna be in this year? Do you know yet?
In a perfect world, I'd be in zero, maybe one, if Missouri had figured out this legalized gambling situation sooner. But because we don't have access till December 1st, I'll still be in a sleeper league here. I'm in a ESPN league as well, and then I usually find my way into another one or two. So I was hoping to rid myself of all of it and just do some fun week to week stuff like we tend to do with Adante and Salt and those guys,
Yep.
and a little more gambling. But unfortunately, not. I've got to wait another half a year.
I'll be in two for sure, maybe three. I'm in two that I've been in since high school.
Mm-hmm.
One's a league that my dad's work, who he basically has said, I don't know about fantasy football. I'll pay the entry fee. You go do it.
Yeah, you play
Um,
it.
so I made the playoffs every year in that league since I've been in it. And
Mm-hmm.
then I'm in a super deep dynasty league that we actually decided this week we're gonna hit the reset button after a decade long dynasty run.
Oh,
So we're gonna be doing a full.
full
Everybody's a free
reset.
agent. Do a full reset.
That's fun.
So I'm not. We're trying to figure out a draft date. But I might be having to try to find a proxy to draft for me. I'm not sure I'll be able to make the draft date with things that's going on in my life. So I said 200. We have a $250 salary cap for the draft. I said spend $200 on Jane Daniels. We'll figure out the rest. So
That's all right. It's not a bad choice.
what's your kind of? I know your strategy differs from mine, but what's your kind of strategy going into a
I
traditional PvP?
Yes, I'm very much so a zero running back kind of guy. To me, wide receivers and quarterback and tight ends make your fantasy life. I know if you've got a stable running back room, yes, you can kind of set it and forget it all year. But I've had just too many winning seasons because of having just a monopoly on Tyreek and Devontae Adams or Cooper Cup and this player, to where you're just putting up numbers that the other person's got to be sick going into that week once they see it because you've dropped 25 from one wide receiver and 27 from the other, and you just are out front so far easily, early.
Yeah, my big thing is I kind of do try and get one. Depends on where I'm at in the draft, right? Like
Yeah, that's of course.
if you're I actually prefer to be on the back end. I like being the late
Yeah,
first round, early second.
give me
Actually,
pick
I actually
eight.
don't like being in the top 5 picks of the fantasy football
No
draft.
way.
I prefer being on kind of the back end, getting back to back picks.
Yep,
Just more value there, in
yep.
my opinion. But I always try and target a top 5 like rushing QB, like a Josh Allen, Jaden
Hmm.
Daniels, uh,
So you're getting a little extra there. Yeah.
Jalen Hurts type player, just because the
Hmm.
rushing on the quarterbacks in most fantasy leagues, just the points you get from rushing touchdowns and rushing attempts and yards and stuff is just such a gap between the pocket passers like Joe Burrow and
Oh yeah.
Stroud and those guys. Um,
We
but
we did have a change coming in one of my leagues this year. We are going away with doing away with head-to-head competitions. The top four scoring teams or five, six scoring teams or whatever they decide to make it will make the playoffs, and then you will play head-to-head. at that point in time. So during the season, there are no head-to-heads. It does not matter, that you had one wonky week where the worst team in the league beat you by 2 points because they had somebody go off. We're not doing that anymore. We are doing straight points. So you're just trying to get as many points
Straight
as
cumulative
possible, which I
points.
kind of like.
Yeah. That definitely definitely takes the randomness out of a random player gets hurt during the game or
Yep.
something.
Mm-hmm.
In our dynasty league, I think I have to check the group chat, but I believe we removed kickers and defenses from our
Yeah,
lineups.
that's huge. Mm-hmm.
So we do super flex league, two QBs. Then you can
Yep.
start 2 or 3 running backs. You can start 4 or 5 receivers. Start 2 or 3 tight ends, and then we had 1 or 2 kickers, 1 or 2 defenses, wherever gets you to 12. But
Yep.
I believe we removed the kickers defense from the equation. But I always try and go. Normally I go running back, receiver, and then try and get QB in the fourth. It just kind of depends on where you're at in the
Yep.
draft. Honestly, like the strategy changes for me on if I'm in the first pick or I'm the 10th pick or the 12th pick or whatever.
Yeah, I only take a running back if I have a top 3 pick. That's the only time I even consider it.
And then really it's honestly just reading how the draft is going too, and knowing your league mates. Like if you know
Yeah.
someone's a big homer, like I play with a lot of Chiefs homers, so I know like Mahomes and Kelsey and Rice and all those guys are probably gonna go earlier than they should go.
Yeah.
But then it's also people kind of panic. So if someone takes Josh Allen in like the second, there's gonna be a big run on quarterbacks. So you gotta
Yeah.
decide then and there: do you go get your guy and not worry about it, or do you take value and then figure out on the back end? And I think QB is actually deeper fantasy wise than it ever has been. Like
Oh yeah, like
almost
once you get outside that top 4, brother, I'm not taking the quarterback for another 5 rounds
yeah. If
because
you don't get a top 4 or 5 guy, you can literally take anybody. And there's really
I'll chop Baker Mayfield out there today and be
yeah
fine with that.
there's not gonna be a ton of variance from the number 6 guy to the number like 15th guy.
Yeah.
Like there might be a
Yeah,
point or two
absolutely.
difference, but you, if you told me Jordan Love is top 5 QB, I would believe that just as much as Baker Mayfield's a top
Yeah,
5 QB.
exactly.
Like there's just so many good QBs.
Jared Goff will win you a league
Yeah,
today.
yeah. There's so many serviceable guys, but what really differentiates is the Drake Mays, the Jane Daniels, the Jalen Hurts,
Yeah.
Fields to a lesser extent, I guess. But the QBs that kind of can scramble a little bit and give you some rushing touchdowns. And also, in Hurts' case, he didn't do it so much last year, but snake some touchdowns from some of the running backs. I know
Yeah,
that's
because
the worst feeling.
Hurts doesn't give it to you in the yards. That's not where Hurts gives it to you. Hurts gives it to you, and he got 2 rushing touchdowns because they were inside the 5, and Saquon got subbed out.
Yep. So we'll probably touch on fantasy football, but I was kind of talk about get that conversation going as we get into fantasy football season here. I know some leagues are probably starting to draft now. I don't think we're the place to get fantasy football advice in terms of who your sleepers are and things like that. We can get some guys we like, but I don't think we're that well versed in deep diving fantasy football. All right, so we'll move on to Madden, which I don't think you change your mind on getting Madden all this year. I assume not.
No, I'm loving NCAA too much. There's no reason at this point for me to dip my toes in the Madden pool.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you as well, but nonetheless, it's still a fun conversation to have.
It is. It is. Everyone's interested in Madden ratings. The players, how the players themselves are.
Yeah, so I think I texted you there were 799 overalls, which seems a little high to me. We'll get into that though, but I'll just go down my list here. So I got wide receivers first. We got your guy Tyreek Hill, 99 overall.
Not my guy.
Justin Jefferson at 98, CeeDee Lamb at 96, AJ Brown tied for 4th with Amon-Ra St. Brown at 95, Devontae Adams at 94, Jamar Chase at 93, Diggs at 92, and then Mike Evans and Brandon Ayuk rounded out at 91. Anything shock you there?
Stephon Diggs being that high kind of shocks me. This is not 2019. I mean, that is. I mean, I think he's going to be fine with the Patriots, but I mean, that is a. If you're telling me top 10 wide receivers still in the league, I don't think so.
Yeah, Stephon Diggs being in the 90s is kind of wild to me as well. And then Brandon Ayuk, actually, I like him a lot, but tell me he's 90.
Yeah,
he's 90
feels
plus.
more like a 86 to 88 type of player to me.
Yeah, and then Jamar Chase feels low too.
Yeah,
I would put him over Adams at this point, and then probably put the line somewhere at CD Lamb, AJ Brown,
Hmm.
somewhere in there. Like, uh, tell me Jamar Chase has fallen off since last year.
Yeah,
Like, I
I'm
don't.
not sure what Jamar Chase we're watching, what slide you've seen anywhere, but sure.
Wait, is this right? Wait, he's Madden 26. We're gonna be looking at, huh? Disregard that.
Mm.
Those last year's ratings.
Oh, gotcha.
That didn't seem right. There we go. That makes. Leave that in.
Leave it in.
Jamar Chase is 99 Club. That makes more sense.
That does.
All right, reset. Different article by CBS Sports. This is actually the right ratings this year. Let's start with quarterback. Josh
Okay.
Allen, 99 overall, Buffalo Bills. Lamar Jackson, 99. Joe Burrow, 97. Patrick Mahomes, 95. Matthew Stafford, 88. Jared Goff at 87. Justin Herbert at 86. Jalen Hurts at 86. Baker Mayfield at 85. And Jane Daniels at 85. Your top 10
Uh,
QBs.
Chiefs Kingdom an absolute shambles to Patrick Mahomes being the fourth rated Madden QB. I mean, absolute shambles. That my TikTok is people losing their minds over this. Which again, I would just tell you to be grateful that he's a better real life player than Madden player. If you really think about it, Lamar Jackson is a little bit harder to stop on Madden than Patrick Mahomes with his running ability. Josh Allen most likely as well too, and he beats both of them pretty regularly head to head. So um, I don't feel like he's slided at all by being a 95. That feels pretty right to me. 95, 96, somewhere in there. But he's not super fast or super physical like Josh Allen. So yeah, they're going to get a little bit of a boost there.
Jared Goff being 6 at 87 is kind of surprising, but the thing that stands out the most is the drop off from the top four to the Stafford at 5. Goes from 95 to 88. Um,
That and yes, you see it with Herbert, but like, bro, what Jaden Daniels? There's no reason to have Jaden Daniels below Justin Herbert at this point. What,
yeah,
explain that to us in any kind
I
of
would
way that
almost
makes sense.
I would almost put Daniels at like an 89, 90
Yeah,
after what we saw last
yeah,
year. I mean, I get like he's a second year quarterback, but I feel like he
yeah.
flashed enough to justify it. And it's a video game at the end of the day, right?
And
So,
again, what has Herbert flashed you in any kind of way?
and then Stafford being 88 is kind of, I'm not saying Stafford's trash, but he's also not the youngest guy in the league anymore.
The crazy thing with Stafford is I think Stafford's been a career 88 guy in my opinion, but at
No.
this point in his career, his back's pretty well shot too. I mean, he's barely even. I don't even think he's practicing yet.
Yeah,
Um,
Baker being 85 is kind of crazy too. That just goes to show the career resurgence he's had
oh
since
yeah,
joining the Buccaneers after
Baker's
leaving.
fun to root for, man. Like that career arc of the Browns thinking, "Oh, we can do better," and then quite obviously not, and then being a game or two from being out of the league, having a 2 minute drill with the Rams to save your career, get signed by the Bucks, and then get $100 million contract and show them that it was worth it. Like that's awesome. That's exactly like that's what makes the NFL fun. Stories like that.
Yeah, I can definitely see people taking offense to Mahomes being below Burrow at the very least.
Oh
Um,
yeah, oh yeah.
Allen and Jackson being above him is not that shocking, but them being 5 points higher than him is a little surprising. But
Yeah.
running backs, no surprise here. Saquon Barkley 99, Derrick Henry 98, Jahmyr Gibbs 95, Christian McCaffrey 94, Bijan 92, Joe Mixon 91, Josh Jacobs 90, James Cook 89, Jonathan Taylor 88, Kenneth Walker 88.
I love Jahmyr Gibbs. That feels like an absurd rating.
95? Yeah, that's pretty high.
Like I love Jahmyr Gibbs. Had him last year in fantasy. Loved him coming out. James Cook's been just as impressive. I mean, like to me, they're very similar players, and I don't know how you had have them. That feels like where Jahmyr Gibbs should be is in that James Cook realm. 95 is crazy.
Yeah, Joe Mixon being 91 is also kind of crazy. Like, he had a decent year last year, but it's not like we're talking about Joe Prime Mixon right now.
Yeah, he's aging as well, and he's hurt. I know that doesn't affect their overall rating, but yeah, that how many running backs at his age are 90 plus. But then you look at Derrick Henry, and I'm like, dude, Derrick Henry's high school coach should be locked up for what he did to him anyway. If anybody is curious, look at his high school numbers, just the amount of carries he got. That man should be locked up. That shouldn't be legal. So for him to still be this successful on the field and warrant that 98 rating is absolute insanity.
I am a little surprised that our guy from the Raiders, the rookie, didn't crack the top 10 here, but he's got to be close, I would think. 11. I
The Boise State running back,
yeah,
Genty?
yeah,
Ashton
Genty,
Genty?
yeah. He's just
Yeah,
a lot of people are really high on him.
The highest rookie running back, me and Salt were actually just talking about this week, the highest rookie running back that I've ever seen, Madden rating wise, was Reggie Bush on the Saints, and he was 87 overall as a rookie. And so I'd imagine since then they're probably like, well, let's throttle it back here a little bit.
He's got to be in the 84, 85 range, I would think.
I would think, yeah.
I can look at the rookie ratings here.
I wonder what, prime, rookie Adrian Peterson was probably pretty high.
Yeah, I would think so. And then on the receiver, Jamar Chase 99. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson 99. Amon-Ra St. Brown 96. CeeDee Lamb 95. Tyreek Hill 95. Terry McLaurin 94. Mike Evans 93. A.J. Brown 93. Drake London 91. Devontae Adams 90.
I like Drake London, and I think he's about to have a big year, but I would have liked that 91 at the end of this year, not to start the year.
Not start the year, yeah. I don't. McLaurin being up there, he actually has asked for a trade out of Washington, I believe. So,
Yeah.
I like him, but I don't know if he's a top 10. I guess he's top 10 receiver after last year.
Yeah.
Nothing really too crazy.
No.
Here, I mean, McLaurin's the shocking one, being
this
being
tight end
sixth.
is about to be atrocious. This tight end is about to be, the number 10 tight end to be somebody that some people don't even know.
Yeah, and then Drake London being top 10 is also. I like Drake London a lot, but yeah, he really hasn't. We'll see what Michael Penix can do, but all right.
Yeah.
Talk about your follow-ups. All right. George Kittle 98, Travis Kelce 93, Trey McBride 92, Mark Andrews 91, Brock Bowers 90, Njoku 89, T.J. Hockenson 88, Dallas Goedert 87, Sam Laporta 86, Evan Ingram 85.
Okay, I've got two major problems with this list already. Because we're just doing the team thing of, hey, they're on a good team, so they must be great. Dallas Goedert has been underwhelming in Philadelphia since he signed his last contract there like 2 years ago. So for him to be over, who was after him? After Goddard, I can't. You're muted right now. My biggest issues are Goddard being that high, and Bowers being under whoever he was under.
So Laporta was ninth after Goddard, and then Bowers,
that's my issue.
Bowers was under Andrews and above Njoku.
Okay, so Laporta is been substantially better than Goddard has for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And then Bowers and Mark Andrews is great. Mark Andrews, they were talking about possibly moving on from because Isaiah Likely's been so good. Yeah. So in what world is Mark Andrews better than what Brock Bowers did last year as a rookie?
Yeah, the fact that Bowers isn't third or fourth is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Love Travis Kelce, obviously, but him being, I mean, I don't know, him being 93 is kind of wild.
You could make a case that's the greatest rookie tight end season we've ever seen.
I would make the case of the greatest rookie season we've ever seen. Well, outside Jane Daniels, I mean, like we saw two of the greatest rookie seasons we've ever seen. But yeah, I would definitely put Bowers over Mark Andrews for sure.
Yeah.
You know, then the conversation is him and McBride. I think if you're talking fantasy, Bowers had a better season just because McBride didn't score any touchdowns last year.
Yeah, that's his volume and his offense there. I mean, McBride's fantastic too.
But obviously, I would, you would take Bowers over Travis Kelce today.
And your team matters, right? Just like we were talking about. McBride, you have Marvin Harrison Jr. that the team's obviously going to try to force feed and make the number one target in the offense and do all these great things, which they should. And Kyler obviously uses his legs as well. The Raiders were, we have no other options. It's going to Brock.
Yeah.
type situation last year.
If I were to make the list, I would go Kittle, McBride, Bowers, Kelsey probably, and then
Yeah.
Laporta,
Hmm.
Hawkinson, and then you got
Yeah.
your Goddard and Joku. Evan Ingram cracking the top 10 is kind of crazy to me. I mean,
He got cut. He
yeah,
got cut 2 years ago. Like what? Like
yeah, that's insane. Like, he had a decent year with the Jags a couple years ago, but yeah, being the 10th best tight end in the league is kind of crazy. But at that point, like, why not put Loveland there or
yeah.
uh, the other who's the other tight end got drafted? Can't think of his name
Oh,
off the top
by
of
the
my head.
Colts. By the
Yeah,
Colts. The
the guy at Penn State.
Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at that point, like, once you guys had top five, like, tight end falls
Yeah. For
off.
tight ends, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
doesn't
just throw
matter.
someone up there.
You want to talk offensive line or no?
Probably not. Yeah, that'll be boring.
DNs. Miles Garrett 99, Micah Parsons 98, T.J. Watt 96, Max Crosby 96, Nick Bosa 95, Aiden Hutchinson 93, Trey Henderson's 92, Daniel Hunter 91, Josh Hines Allen 90, Will Anderson Jr. 89.
I think my only issue there is T.J. Watt. Probably. I mean, as great as Micah and Miles Garrett are, I I don't see a fall there between T.J. Watt. Like that's arguably the best defensive player in the league. Every time I watch him, he's the best player on the field.
Yeah, he's single-handedly wrecks game. Like, yeah, him being not at least being 90 tied with 98 with Parsons
Yeah,
is
I'm not saying he
crazy.
has to be a 99, but yeah, like to me, he does more for the Steelers than Micah does for the Cowboys when I
Yeah,
watch them.
I would almost say put the three of them at 99 or
Yeah,
put T.J. Watt at
or
98
98.
at the very least.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah, have Miles at 99 and have them at 98, whatever.
I
Yeah.
do take a little bit of issue with Hutchinson and Henderson being 93 and 92. Like, I mean,
I think
guess
Hendrickson's issue is just his age. If Hendrickson was 25, he's higher.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, that's a solid top seven, honestly, with Garrett, Parsons,
Yeah.
Watt, Crosby, Bosa, Hutchinson, Henderson. And I don't know a whole lot about
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Hunter. Josh Hines Allen,
Yeah,
I do like, and then Will Anderson Jr. He's a third-year player for the Texans.
yeah, they took him same year as C.J. Stroud. Remember they had
Yeah,
picks like
yeah,
1,
we're
4.
at his draft, I believe. That was one Kansas City.
That's right. Shortly, I was there briefly.
That's right. Yeah, you got sick and dipped on us, but that's a pretty solid list for edge rushers. Honestly, I don't think really any real issue there. Defensive
Go corner.
tackles.
Go corner.
Go corner. Hang on. Corner. All right. Patrick Surtain, the second, 97 overall. Christian Gonzalez, 95. Sauce Gardner, 94. Trent McDuffie, 94. Jalen Ramsey, 94. Derek Stingley Jr., 93. Marlon Humphrey, 92. Jair Alexander, 91. Denzel Ward, 90. Jalen Johnson, 89.
Okay. I like most Packers stuff. And I know he's not a Packer anymore, that he is a Raven now. Jair Alexander being in the 90s is bogus. And let me tell you why. He's played something like 16 games total in the last 2 years combined. Okay. So you're talking about half the games over a 2-year span. So what are you basing that off of? What he was 3 years ago? You're basing that rating off when you saw him healthy 3 years ago?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then Jalen Ramsey being fifth is kind of crazy to me too. Like
That's a lifetime in the NFL. Yeah.
he's been a good player, but you tell me the fifth best corner in the league right now? I don't.
That's a lot of name value there.
Yeah, for sure. And then Christian Gonzalez being second is, I mean, he's nice. I mean, he got hurt though, right?
Second does feel crazy, but that dude is a demon. I'm telling you right
he's
now.
He's a baller
I've
for sure.
Him cover Tyreek and Waddle now since his rookie year, and I'm impressed every time I watch him. He finds the ball, he stays with them stride for stride. Like that dude's a demon. Like he's so smooth. That,
Just him being over.
Doesn't carry enough weight yet.
Yeah,
because of that team.
And that goes to my next point. Just him being second ahead of Sauce is just name alone is kind of crazy. Like
but that's the New York media thing. And Sauce has a cooler name and he's swaggier and whatever. But like, if you ask me right now who's the better player, I would tell you Christian Gonzalez has impressed me more than Sauce. Sauce is just a little bit too handsy. I mean, he gets penalized.
Yeah.
He was my CB1 coming out. I love him to death, but Christian Gonzalez, I dread playing him. Sauce, I'm like, this isn't gonna be fun, but we might be able to catch him here.
And I like Trent McDuffie, but I don't necessarily, in my head, I don't consider him a top 5 corner in the league, but
If
maybe he
Trent
is.
had any kind of significant turnovers to go with what he does coverage wise, he absolutely would be. It's the Byron Jones effect of whatever it is, 2 career interceptions in like 5 years now that you're like, what? How can you be so good and so physical and so good in coverage and you can't find the ball ever?
Yeah, and some of that is maybe, they respect him so much they don't throw to him. They don't throw his way either. It's probably some of that too. Defensive
Mm-hmm.
tackle, Chris Jones, 97. Dexter Lawrence, the second, 97. Derek Brown, 95. Cameron Hayward, 94. Vita Vea, 93. The Ravens D tackle, I'm not going to try and simple his name, 93. Jeffrey Simmons, 92. Quentin Williams for the Jets, 91. Jalen Carter, 90. DeForest Buckner, 88.
My big issue here, and this is a little homer coming out of me here. My man Zach Sealer, who just got extended today on a 3-year extension for I believe 76 million with like 44 guaranteed, is the only defensive tackle not named Chris Jones in the last 2 years to have 10 plus sacks. So, and by the way, he's not just a sack guy; he does everything extremely well. So tell me how you're one of two, and the other guy being the All-Pro Chris Jones in your conference to have 10 plus sacks last 2 years, and you can't find the top 10.
I
Come on.
thought, I thought you were about to make a Chop Robinson case.
No, not Chop. Chop they would have listed as an edge or a linebacker. But no, Zach Sealer, one of the most underrated D tackles in the league. Hate that for him. Such a fun guy to root for. I tweeted about today. 7th round pick out of Ferris State. Couldn't even tell you where that is. Gets cut by the Ravens after 1 year. The Dolphins in 2019 are tanking quite obviously for Tua and pick him up when they're terrible. And he makes the team and makes an immediate impact and has had 2 extensions since. Like, such a fun guy to root for. Was living in a trailer because he didn't know if he was going to make the team. Now you get a $44 million guaranteed extension. Like, just awesome guy.
Two things for me: seeing a Panther and having a Panther in the top 5 of anything ratings
Yeah.
wise is kind of shocking. And then
Yeah.
Cameron Haywood being in top 5 still out here doing it
Yeah.
is
That's
kind
huge.
of wild too.
He's still good, but holy smokes, he's old.
And then Jalen Carter being top 10.
Yeah. Okay. This is what I mean by when Madden gets in trouble because you're just doing the good team thing, right? That's exactly what I mean. Jalen Carter's been obviously good since he came in there, but he has no statistical
He's
area
on
that he's been
all-time
better.
defense. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. It just that's you're doing the team thing there.
and then let's go linebacker Fred Warner, 97. No surprise there. Roquan Smith, 94. Bobby Wagner, 91. Demario Davis, 90. Levante David, 88. Zach Bond, 88. Floyd Olakun for the Jaguars, 87. Dre Greenlaw, 86. Bobby Okray, 86. And Devin Lloyd for the Jags, 85. I would say our top 2 Jaguars being in the top 10 on this is
I
kind of,
love Devin Lloyd coming out of was it Utah, I believe, right? He wears number 0.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's a fun player. I was happy to see them get him. Linebackers kind of like tight end, honestly. Once you get outside that top 6 or 7, yeah, you can
I
tell me
think
those guys are
I think the
great.
shocking thing there is Bobby Wagner being third. Like he was on the Legion of
That's
Boom
crazy.
a decade ago. Like,
Yeah,
um,
Bobby Wagner. By the way, for those who aren't sure or maybe don't know, Bobby Wagner's a Hall of Famer. You're watching a Hall of Fame like that. That's an easy vote. I know the Hall of Fame stuff just came out of like. By the way, don't get me started on Alex Smith being a nominee. By the way, and Julian Edelman. We'll make a whole episode on Alex Smith and Julian Edelman if I need to, because I will go to the NFL offices if I need to make my case there. On either Julian Edelman has 35 career
here we go.
touchdowns. Julian Edelman has 0 Pro Bowls, 0 All Pros. What are we doing? This isn't a Hall of Fame player.
Rings.
Oh my gosh! But he's been so good in the playoffs. He has 5 touchdowns in 19 games. What are you talking about? He had a crazy catch. Yeah, you don't get to go to the Hall of Fame because he had a crazy catch.
Well, that was the case. The guy from the Giants,
Dave
David
Tyree.
Tyree.
Yeah. What, we putting him in? Like, what are we doing?
Hall of Fame moment. I'll say that.
Yeah. God.
All right. Moving on to safety here. Jesse Bates, the third, 95. Derwin James Jr., 93. Xavier McKinney, 93. Buda Baker, 92. Your guy Minka Fitzpatrick, 92.
Love
Antoine
it.
Winfield, 91. Kyle Hamilton, 90. Kirby Joseph 90, Brian Branch 89, Harrison Smith 88.
You said Kyle Hamilton 90. He's what? Sixth, seventh?
Seventh.
Oh, that's atrocious.
For
That's atrocious.
for the best
Kyle
safety in the league.
Hamilton. Yeah, I'm about to say Kyle Hamilton is safety 1B at worst. At worst.
I would put him in a conversation with Bates and Derwin James for sure.
Yeah. No, Derwin James is, I'm sorry, Charger fans, at this point, overrated. Like, Derwin James, when I watch the Chargers, never jumps off the screen, right? Like, yes, he makes a splashy play every once in a while or a big hit, lifts Travis Kelce off the ground. Everybody likes that. Kyle Hamilton is a menace at all times, everywhere on the field, long as can be, hands-on balls, doesn't get beat deep. Like, that's an atrocious rating. Yeah. That's atrocious.
Yeah, him being seventh is crazy. He should be second at worst. Yeah, Buda Baker being above him is crazy. Minka, is he even really technically a safety? Yeah, have they figured that out yet?
He just has positional. Like, they play him in the nickel a lot too. But and the more thing about it, if you're an All-Pro player, okay, you should be. That means, okay, especially if you're first team All-Pro. If you're first team All-Pro, which I believe Kyle Hamilton was, but either way, if you're first team All-Pro, that means I'm top 2 at my position. There's no universe you're ranking me 7th.
Yeah. And then I'll say the Lions safeties are on there, back-to-back, 8th and 9th. I think they both got hurt last year. Lions actually have a sneaky, scary defense if they're all healthy.
What two are on there? What are they, 8th and 9th?
Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch.
Yeah. Brian Branch was a great pick. Brian Branch was Alabama supposed to be like a mid to, at worst, late first-round pick. And then he ran like a hair slow time. And all like the actual good draft people, if you listen to them, were like, this doesn't matter. He's playing safety. He's not playing corner. And of course, NFL GMs, overthink this, and he falls to the second or wherever he ended up going. And it's like, that dude, everybody could see it was going to be a fantastic footballer. Same thing with Antoine Winfield. I was banging the Hooters table for Antoine Winfield. The Dolphins would take him at pick, whatever it was, 29. Father was fantastic. He's fantastic. And you take Noah Igbenogany, Brian Flores, thank you much, who is a middling starter now on the Commanders, doing nothing, as Winfield's a stud safety. Just infuriating.
That context, those who don't know, we go to the draft at Hooters every year and have a draft party.
That's right.
Hence why he's breaking the table at Hooters.
That's
all right. Rookie ratings. All right. Probably no surprise here. Travis Hunter, 80th overall for the Jags. Aston Genty, 83. Abdul Carter, 81. Mason Graham, 80. Will Campbell, 79. Jalen Walker, 79. Kenneth Grant, 78. Barron, 78. Mikael Williams, 78. And Maxwell Harrison, 78.
That's pretty average, I would say, for rookies. I would honestly think that they would, just off his name and popularity, I thought they would have made Hunter a little bit higher. But 84 feels fine.
Notably missing is first overall pick Cam Ward, who reading this article is his 62nd highest rated rookie in the game.
That's insane.
He's not even the highest rated Cam in the draft class. He's behind the Giants rookie Cam Scatabo. Yeah.
No.
So the Madden Raiders are down on our guy Cam Ward.
Somebody hates Cam Ward. I mean, I don't think he's gonna have a great season because of the situation he's in. But there's no way you watched him play last year and you're like, he's not a 80 overall, 81 overall.
When has the number one pick in the draft not been the highest rookie rated in Madden ever? I've never seen that. Let alone be 62nd.
It's like he tested terribly or doesn't have physical traits, and you're like, this isn't going to pan out well. Like, he has all the physical traits too.
Him not being in the top 10 is crazy, but him being 62nd of all rookies, like if you told me if you told me he's 62nd overall player in the game, like, okay, that checks out. But 62nd of rookies is crazy. That's actually insane.
I might be able to name 60 rookies better than Cam Scatabo.
Is he going to make the team?
He was like a
Oh,
fourth round pick. I liked him, but that dude's like a fourth round pick.
he's out of Iowa State, right?
No, Arizona State.
Arizona State. Nah, that's one of those
Fun
states.
player.
But yeah, that is crazy.
Not a
Um,
shot, Cam. Cam, if you're listening, not a shot, Cam Scatterbo, but that's bogus. I feel like you would agree.
but your guy Grant, 78, seventh best rookie in the game.
Yeah. And honestly, I thought he might sneak in a little higher just because he is, on the freaks list as far as physical traits. So I thought, those are usually guys they do put a little bit higher. But I'm totally fine with that.
And then no surprise here, Barron for the Broncos, 78. If Barron comes
Man,
as advertised, the Broncos
man,
probably have. They're in
yeah,
a discussion with the Eagles, the best defense in the league, hands down. With
yeah. Just
him
pay
and
Derek
Surtain.
Wolf. Secondary is absolutely phenomenal. And the offense is good enough to you can't get behind and become one dimensional, or that defense is going to wreck your game.
Yeah, and then Mason Graham being fourth overall seems a little hot. It's kind of shocking to me, I think, but I mean,
Yeah,
people,
but I could see him even go higher though, because he's going to get so much opportunity next to Myles Garrett that I think his overall could climb because he's going to put up some fun numbers.
yeah, that kind of wraps up the Madden reigns. Anything else you want to look at?
I don't think so.
All right, so we'll move on to this week's episode of Patch Notes, which, unless you're living under a rock, the top 400 streamers in the world were out in LA for the Battlefield 6 reveal, which I was pretty locked into.
Our guy Tim had 100K viewers, you said?
There was 1 million viewers total on Twitch on Thursday watching the reveal.
Wow.
I had Tim up, I had Courage up, I had Nayshot up. They were in a foursome with Scump, and then I had the Burnt Peanut up as well. I was kind of sprinkled all over the place watching everybody's POV of that. The trailer looks sick. They did announce a BR, which is free. It looks like a fun game, to be honest with you. I'm definitely going to play the beta. I got a code when it comes out next weekend. Kind of wish it came out this weekend because I'm batching it up this week. But
Yeah.
um,
A free BR is enticing, so
yeah,
I might be able to be
I remember playing Battlefield 1's BR and enjoyed it a little bit. I think I watched people play it more than I actually played it myself. I think everyone's just excited to have a new just shooter game just because of how COD's gone last couple years with just being more arcadey. This being a more boots on the ground game, I think will entice a lot of people. The game looks clean, looks like I watched them play live, watched Tim's videos on it on YouTube last couple days. It looks fun. I think my honest opinion, it'd be a good game to play with the boys for a couple days, but I don't think it's gonna hold at least us. Gonna grab us a lot, but the VR, we'll see what happens there.
Did I see a couple subtle shots of we're gonna stick to military skins, not Nicki Minaj skins? Thanks.
Yeah, they did. They did say it's going to be a modern, realistic shooter game with I forget the term they used, but it was basically genre appropriate skins, lack of a better term. And then obviously the destruction, environmental destruction is always that's what you play Battlefield. It's just the chaos,
Yeah.
the jets flying around, helicopters flying around. There was a new mode that they had was because basically team deathmatch, but it was like quad. It was 4 teams of 4. So it was TDM, but you had 4 different teams of 4 players on it, and you're just going around. I thought that was a cool different kind. That's kind of a cool mode. I don't think I've seen before anywhere. But I think a lot of people are excited for a new Battlefield after the Battlefield 2043. I played the beta, and that was just a disaster. That's probably one of the worst launches of any game probably ever.
There's something to be said if they learn from it, right? That's the one thing we always harp on COD from is they don't learn from these mistakes and issues and make changes. So even if they trotted out some piece in Battlefield 2043, if you learn from all those issues and what people didn't like, then more props to you.
Yeah, I think they're doing that. And let's just take the Battlefield title out of it. Just the fact they're doing appropriate skins for the game. they are doing a free beta access weekend without having to pre-order the game. So like you can just play the beta and not have to
Yeah.
put any skin in the game. They are also really cutting down on the microtransactions and stuff like that.
People
Um,
love that.
so they're just doing a lot of things that not just it's not just a Call of Duty versus Battlefield thing. It's just the way gaming has gone. They're kind of getting away with all the stuff people don't like and kind of going about it
Good for
the
them.
right way. So I think, and I think they know this is kind of their last shot at it as well. So they're trying to do it the right way. Um,
Right.
my gut feeling is I will enjoy watching people play it more than playing it myself. I'd never been really big into Battlefield. I remember I played it back when it was like Battlefield Bad Company, and I remember
Hmm.
like being in a tank and running the building over because it's like the first time I seen like environmental destruction. I was like, holy crap, this is crazy.
Yeah.
But it's always been kind of just too slow a pace for me personally.
Uh-huh.
But that being said, watching them play the other day, I was like, this was like fun.
This is fun to
They're
watch.
having a
Yeah.
good time. I did play Battlefield Hardline, which is uh, seems to be a pretty consensus one of the lesser games in the series. I
Hmm.
can't remember. I think I played Battlefield 3 or Battlefield 4 because at the time it's one of those games you had to play. It's one of those
Yeah.
everyone kind of played at the time games. But we'll see if the boys check it out. I'll definitely check out the BR. I'm a sucker for a good BR. So I'm not. I had to wait and see when it drops. I hope it drops similar to around the time the base game comes out. Um, but they might go the Call of Duty model and do it like a month after or so. I think they said October 10th was the release date for the game, but I'll at least play the
Gotcha.
beta and just kind of see how it goes. But
If
yeah,
I'm off Borderlands 4 by then, I might make an appearance.
so yeah, Battlefield 6. Uh, hopefully, I think just for gaming, for shooter games in general, I think it needs to do decently well.
Yeah.
But I think it kind of sets a tone for some things going forward with first-person shooters. All right, film room sessions. You went and saw Superman. What do you got?
Superman, I went and saw it with my dad and my son. So very interesting three generation review here. I thought it was very entertaining. I didn't mind the story at all. I thought Nicholas Holt kind of carried as Lex, and some of the side characters that I'm not as familiar with because I'm not just a diehard superhero kind of guy. Mister Terrific. I don't know if you know who that is. He was fantastic. And who else? Oh, there was an elemental guy named Metamorpho who is played by the guy with alopecia from the show Barry from HBO. He's fantastic. But I really liked his character as well. But no, very entertaining. Um, the dog Crypto in it felt a bit blah to me, but I'm sure Jameson as an 8-year-old thought he was funny. But that was kind of played out to me that his dog wouldn't listen as a superhero's dog. But the story was fine. I liked the story, and it was a fun movie. Uh, Corn Sweat still doesn't do that much for me. I thought he did fine. He just doesn't pop off the screen to me. And I don't know the girl's name who played Lois either, but kind of the same thing. I don't know if they were going for more middle tier actors and actresses just to not have one big name to hang this on, which is totally fine. But she didn't do much for me either. Lois's character. I was honestly more impressed with all the other side characters. Like I said, Mister Terrific, the guy who played Green Lantern's protege, I believe, or just kind of a side Green Lantern guy. He was funny. And then, like I said, Metamorpho, that elemental guy, he had cool abilities. So, good movie. Nicholas Holt felt like the best actor in it by a mile to me. But good time. My dad's take. Uh, Spoiler alert here. As someone who watched the original Superman, he's born. My dad was born in '66. Superman gets beat up too much in this movie. He is Superman, so I'm not sure why he's losing multiple fights. Which I valid take. He is Superman. I thought he didn't use his laser eyes enough. I go into these and I'm like, I would be laser eyeing everyone. I'm not sure why this is just reserved for certain situations, but he could have used those a little more. Jameson really liked it, so take your kids to it if you want to take your kids to it. They'll have a good time, and it's a good watch for them as far as nothing bad comes up to where you're like, oh gosh, cover your eyes. But yeah, good movie.
All right. Anything else you want to add? Anything on the show before we wrap up here?
That's all I got.
All right. Well, that does it for episode 5 of Athletes Avatars. We broke down the trade deadline, explored early fantasy draft strategy, and looked at Madden and Battlefield. And whether you're rebuilding your old team, your franchise, or just your controller, we appreciate you listening in. And make sure you subscribe on YouTube, follow us on TikTok. Hit us with the comments with your biggest fantasy sleeper or the worst Madden rating you've seen. New episode will drop next week. Until then, we'll catch you in the next one.